So one of the things I've been trying to do recently is carry as many stoats as possible to turn 11 and then sell them for tier 6s. And you can see here we're on turn 8. I've got 2 level 2 stoats ready and I've got my rabbit carry. And, one of the problems I would have with these runs is getting, investing so much in the stoats that the rest of the team just wasn't good enough to survive. And actually, this team I go against is really funny where they've got level 2 Yak, which is barely clinging on 5 HP, and then they've got level 3 Zombie Cricket. So I hope they managed to get their achievement there. So here I'll pill the turtle onto the rabbit, and then we'll, unfortunately here a lot of the stats are going to waste on the stoats because they're just going to be sold, but we're hoping that the tier 6 units we get are going to be such a big power spike that it'll be enough to carry us to the finishing line. So the rabbit is just absorbing as many stats as possible. And weirdly, we actually go against back-to-back Yak teams, where you don't see that every day. Now, I would kind of like to get a third Stoat on board since we've got the rabbit carry to a decent level and it has melon. So we'll get rid of the African penguin, and we actually find a chocolate on the next roll. But we don't find another Stoat on the next one. Maybe I could have just rolled down here. But I think selling 3 Stoats, 2 level 2s and 1 level 1, that would be pretty good. So here, the strange thing is this pack actually was not set up for this. So I just did it by chance. I couldn't really remember which tier 6s were in the pack, and I didn't check. So here we actually get Stoat in the shop. And I'm going to pause it here, and we'll play a little bit of a guessing game. So which 3 of these tier 6s do you think I'm going to get from the level 2 stoats? So before you watch anymore, comment below and with your guess and see how many you got right. So here we go with the cells. Number 1, alpaca. I actually didn't even realize alpaca was still in the pack. I meant to take it out. And we get German Shepherd, which was great because I really wanted some of the new pets. But the other one is mammoth. Now, having said that, mammoth is probably a decent get because our stats are not now suddenly horrendous. We're probably going to have to sell the cow as well. So the stats from the mammoth is giving plus 4 at level 2. So although the starting stats are really bad for the alpaca and the German Shepherd, as soon as we're able to buy another one. So here you can see what happens with the mammoth. Although we had those really bad starting stats, we're able to buy the mammoth to make it level 3. And actually, I guess mammoth starting stats aren't great, but it's much better than 4-3. So here, I'm not sure why I freeze the betta fish. We're going to buy blue-ringed octopus again. It's one of those pets like cow and zebra that you just get into the habit of buying it every time you see it. There is chocolate, so I could level up the German Shepherd, but I kind of want to get another one naturally to get the boost in stats. However, we do have cat frozen, and so next turn I can potentially buy the cat, get level 2, and then start feeding the German Shepherd, and it won't necessarily matter. But on the last roll here, we get the mushroom, and instead of buying another pet, I'd rather just give the mammoth mushroom, and it's now going to give plus 12, and that will bring the alpaca and the German Shepherd up to a decent level. Having said that, I do expect to lose the next battle, but we actually go against someone who's playing an entire team of golden pack units in custom packs, which is a little bit strange, but I'll take it. And although they do have German Shepherd plus Flying Fish, it's not going to be anywhere near enough to beat our raw stats. And so the cat's going to come in, and then the alpaca will exit stage left because I'd rather get something else in that probably one of the tier 6 units I was hoping to get out of the stoats, and that is the warthog. So we'll sell alpaca and level up the German Shepherd. So now it will give a much higher percentage of attack to the warthog. Let's see how much it gets. +8. Okay, it's not great, but any stats we can get at this stage, you know, it all feeds into. You can see here how the team works. That the mammoth passes stats to the warthog, which then passes even more stats back. So we're getting multiple. You know, we're multiplying the value of all those stats from the 2 faint pets at the front. Not that this was planned. You know, I just picked a selection of tier 6s, and I quite often do that where I'm kind of lazy and I don't go for any particular build, and I just try and see what's going to happen. So we go against Turkey Tiger with you know, you see this all the time with the full team of pack 1 pets. And actually we were kind of lucky on some of the breakpoints there where the warthog survived due to the you know, the mammoth passing the stats back, and then the German Shepherd gave just enough attack to instant kill. So now there's not a whole lot for us to do. The pack actually, although I bought the cat, I didn't really realize that there weren't very many good foods to give them. So here I'm just going to settle for equipment. The German Shepherd starting stats don't look like they lend itself to lemon, but the number of stats it's going to receive as buffs from the other pets at the front is actually going to make the lemon quite useful. So we actually go against back-to-back Turkey Tiger. Again, that's a pretty common occurrence, but at least this team had Lizard and Anteater, which you don't see that often compared to some of the other summon pets. So you can see the cat gets up to 35 there. I suppose it is kind of random that the amount of buffs that where the warthog buffs get distributed. But here again, although the stats are low on the cat, we're going to give it lemon because it's going to you know, get to a much higher stat level during the battle. And I think it's better to feed the warthog than the German Shepherd. And here we go against one of the more common teams. You see this kind of late stage, which is the gold build, which is rapidly getting to 50-50s across the board. They did have Donkey though, which was a bit unusual to see. So here, level up the warthog to level 3. That was lucky to get that on this final shop. So we go into the last battle, and it's actually against another mammoth health regeneration team. And they've got an interesting setup where they've got Ox at the back and then Secretary Bird in front of it. But, you know, they just didn't have the tier 6 level 3s that we do. And the warthog is going to provide so many stats to the rest of the team. The German Shepherd gets to 50-50. And the Ox does as well, but, you know, it's not going to be enough to defeat us. So be honest, how many of your tier 6 pets did you guess correctly? If anyone got all 3, I'll be very impressed and surprised.